Hello everyone. I would like to talk about today about the beauty of the wind. And in a sense, once we acknowledge our present moment, we are directly given access to detail of what that reality is in a sense for us. And you sometimes look at trees and all their leaves have fallen and they're still standing up. And as they're standing up, you see they are letting themselves naturally, as the flow of design, to be pushed by the wind. We see the wind moving the branches, but we cannot see it. You see? So the wind gives us a quality and an experience of a change without really anything changing you. When you become aware of change, and I would like to use the word existential change to tell you that regardless of how the paths in front of us that are observable are paved, how we progress is still a natural growth. So regardless of who you think you should be and what you deserve and how much guilt you have, it doesn't matter. You're still growing into something. You still have a potential to make a choice. As long as you as a being have the ability to make a choice, your reality can be affected with your conscious will, and that's a beautiful thing. You begin taking responsibility for life, and as life, you do not disassociate because the idea of death scares you. You get close to life. You do not try to ignore reality, because reality will not ignore you. It will come forward, and you will go through the experiences you need to go through. So for those who have gone through life experiences, because if you haven't gone through certain life experiences, you will not see the value of experience. You need to go through it to see why it is so valuable when a human being authentically communicates that which he perceives. It's a strong ableness for everything. So now we want to continue on and see that within our lives too, just like how the wind hits those branches, we have flows where we cannot even contemplate how that person did that thing or why that happened, right? So throughout your life you go through phases where you suddenly go through coincidences, synchronicities, symmetries in attraction. Suddenly you see like the thoughts you've had, someone else has exactly had, and you've met that person, and he's not, and in a sense he is the person in the mirror, but again, everything is, because we choose to see it in that way, but we can change our views instantly. And that ability is one that is not limited by idea. So once you're not finding the ability in the idea, existence is communicating your expression of that success, I guess, in a sense. As a being, we all naturally gravitate towards. When the mind of man learns to create meaning, or learns to see meaning, in a logical, let's say, or rational way, it is still irrationally creating. That's why we make mistakes, because we still have irrational approaches to our rationality, and that's why sometimes we don't understand why the things we do, For example, there have been times where, I could have very easily stood up from my bed and gone and picked up something from the table. Rather, I stretched myself across the bed, stretching to try to take that thing, and it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to get off the bed and go comfortably get it, but that's how my mind works. And so we see that we want an allowance for creativity and any type of creativity, but with the intention of the authenticity of existence through your creation. So if I am really creating something, it doesn't matter if you hate it or not. It matters how authentically that's real for me as a creator. Because let me tell you, we have some artists that create as much, of an artwork that it's like their child, And so they are so attached to their work that they become detached. And what that means is when your passion is clearing out the lens of the purpose in that moment, what is left is a very able you, a very possible you, you know? A very impossible is nothing, you know, Nike commercial you. So, when we function in ways where we are irrationally approaching irrationality, similar to how that wind hits that branch out of nowhere, we see different senses of intelligence are working together. So what that means is when two different rational systems meet, that communication is irrational still. You know, it is irrational because the irrationalities are based on different life experiences. So if we put, for example, a Buddhist beside a serial killer, you know, you're still seeing a human being. What, when I, you know, let's say a monk, if you put a monk beside a serial killer, what you see exactly, you know, is that decisions were made, and so the action of their consciousness is kind of like you're giving off an impression. You have a presence, you're alive, okay? So as you move around, this sense of presence is based on how clearly you see it. And at first, because you want to try to see it clearly, you constantly think of new ways to think, your new ways of approach, and sometimes new ways of thinking feels like an enlightening feeling. But it is still stuck in the realm of the thinker, you know? And I'm not per se talking about philosophy, you know, in the sense that many would like to talk about philosophy. I'm talking about philosophy as simply a branch that leads to greater roots, you know? So similarly, within your life and within your moment, there comes flows and there comes entrances of new ideas, new people, new faces, new shapes, simply because you are a being that is to continue. Your nature is made to continue. What that means is once you've started walking, you're going to finish your walk. And you're not going to finish it in an egotistical way. It is not like, yeah, of course I'm going to finish my walk. No. It is a sense of humility that does not want a response. That's why it does not give a response. It is like you do not ask the question, but you're walking through the mist. Do you know? You're continuing on. And you see, it is the ideas you have that are being foundations for images of personality and character you have absorbed from life so far. And in a sense, what that means is that once you see the bricks that are holding all these walls, and you call the brick company and they bring a demolition machine and destroy the bricks, there are no walls. So what is at first the maze of our mind simply transforms into the simplicity of our awareness, and we are fine. We are present, we are able, and we are inspired. Because words inspire, guys. Words have inspired me to get up from my seat, you know? And it's good because sometimes I've been sitting on something uncomfortable from the past, from the ancient past, you know? We do carry things from antiquity. We are treasure revealers, and I like that idea because a treasure revealer is one who is constantly seeing greater value in the values around him. He's revealing treasure. You know, it's not a physical treasure. It's not the Pirates of Caribbean plot. It is a knowing that life knows. And perhaps those are enough words, you know, for this. Know that life knows. And you will always enjoy the wind between the branches. Much blessings and namaste.